now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technical, on-chain, and fundamental analysis. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about none other than the boogeyman of cryptocurrency himself, Gary Gensler. Because as you probably are well aware by now, Gary Gensler's Securities and Exchange Commission has launched a war against cryptocurrency. Starting with Kraken last week, Gary Gensler's Securities and Exchange Commission cracked down on that platform's staking abilities, which basically fires a shot across the bow for every single other cryptocurrency exchange, which offers certain types of custodial staking arrangements and services, such as what is going on Coinbase, obviously what is taking place on Kraken, and many other exchanges that are operating in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Today, though, in fact, yesterday, the Wall Street Journal reported that the SEC very well may be about to launch a crackdown and a securities investigation over securities violations on none other than Binance USD, one of, if not the largest stablecoins in all of cryptocurrency, depending on exactly when you check. This is a big, big deal, considering the fact that BUSD right now is worth, let's see, 15, actually almost just nearly $16 billion. So we're talking about a massive, massive change in the cryptocurrency landscape if that investigation does come through and tell us that, oh, the SEC thinks that BUSD is a security. As I said, we are on a new computer today. I am streaming from my Mac. You guys may know that I switched to Mac a little while ago, and it's been taking a little bit for me to get switched over for the stream because there are a lot of systems and processes that go into running this stream that take place on my former computer, but I am really excited to be on this computer now, so do not be surprised if there are a couple of technical difficulties today. I'm pretty sure I've got everything running smoothly, but if there are any issues, feel free to let me know in chat what exactly you are seeing, what exactly is going on, so that I can go ahead and rectify it. Let's go ahead and read chat. We've got Oh My in chat. Said, good morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hashtag FinSolve. Hashtag FinSolve. Indeed, very, very excited to be here with you guys. And coming up at the end of this stream, I have a very exciting announcement. So stay tuned, because right before we hit the top of the hour and end the show, I am going to have a very exciting announcement for all of you guys. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for weeks, for months for this announcement. And it is finally here. So stay tuned. And hit that like button. Let's see if we can't get to 500 likes before this stream is over. We got Daz Meekin in chat. One of our first members in chat said, good morning. And Rock and Metal News in chat also. He was second. We'll give him a shout out too. Said, hi, Jebb. Hello, Rock and Metal News. We've also got Mike Lowry in chat. Good morning, everyone. Mike Lowry said, good morning indeed to you. Justin Eubanks in chat said, good morning, Crypto Jebb. Let's go. Let's go indeed. Looking forward to it. The Classic IT guy said, good morning, Jebbites. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, good morning, everybody. Guys, if you don't know, I am a big fan of music, and there is a song I've been listening to quite a bit lately called Till You Can't by Cody Johnson. If you guys are familiar with that song, you will know how awesome it is. If you are not familiar with that song, I encourage you, go listen to it right now. It's Till You Can't by Cody Johnson. Never met the guy. Don't know him from Adam. Don't know if I've ever even heard of any of his other music, but I was really jamming to that music over the weekend, probably enough that probably annoyed my wife with how much I was singing it. She's over there shaking her head like, no, totally not. I know, it's okay. Anyway, go check out that song. It's a good one. Definitely kind of reminds you what we're in this for. Justin Eubanks in chat as well. Classic IT guy. Queen's in chat. Jebb wears a cowboy hat. Got it right here. Got this for Christmas. I love this hat so much. And I figured it would go well with the thumbnail today of us being at war. This town ain't big enough for the two of us, Gary. He wants to kick cryptocurrency to the curb and string it up in the town square, but that's not the way it's going to work because we are a industry with a vision and a passion and a place in this world because we want to help people. Tyler on Gaming said, let's go, Jebb. Queen said, you look good, Jebb. Thank you. I shaved. I need a haircut next. So I decided I'd put my beard back under control. I'm going to probably keep it this length for a little while. All right. Think we got everybody shouted out, I do believe. I'm using my old mouse, so my mouse is giving me some trouble today, so this is pretty funny. I'm using a PC Corsair gaming mouse with my Mac. I've got a little bit of both worlds going on here, so this mouse is not doing as well on Mac as it would on my other computer. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. We've got an article that we're going to jump into just straight out the gate, and by the way, boom, check it out. Tell me if this actually looks correct and the framing is right on this. I will have to check myself, but hello, I'm back. I'm down here. Hi, there's the chart up there. So let's go ahead and read this article. This is over on CoinDesk. So we're just going to kind of look at this briefly, and this is also the first time I'm testing this picture-in-picture mode live, so tell me what you think. SEC to sue crypto trust co. Paxos over Binance stablecoin Wall Street Journal. Paxos also faces a probe from the New York Department of Financial Services, which is crazy because that's kind of where they got their charter from. Okay. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission intends to sue stablecoin issuer Paxos, which is behind the Pax dollar, the USDP. You want to look at USDP, you will be able to see that the Pax dollar is ranked 54 and has a nearly $1 billion market capitalization for its stablecoin. But Paxos is far more known for their Binance USD stablecoin token, which are apparently coming under investigation relatively soon. Now, if you remember the last time, what we saw take place is we saw a rumor floating around from the CEO of Coinbase, that being Brian Armstrong, saying that it seems like the SEC and regulators might be coming for staking over securities law violations. And the next day, the SEC announced its staking initiative of cracking down on staking over on Kraken. Seems like they're not done. It seems that there may be some kind of package rollout deal here of crackdowns going on because now they're going over after Binance USD. Common themes here. It looks like, one, the SEC is going after anything that they could even remotely claim as a security. Doesn't make any sense to me why you would claim staking as a security if the thing that you are staking is truly decentralized. At the same time, it also doesn't make much sense at all for them to come after a stablecoin. But we're going to read on here because maybe we'll find more information. The SEC is alleging that BUSD is an unregistered security. I'm really not sure how you're going to argue that a stablecoin that doesn't go up and down in price is an unregistered security. Not exactly sure how you're gonna argue that, but who knows? The news comes days after CoinDesk reported. Like I said, my mouse is not wanting to cooperate with me. CoinDesk reported Paxos is under investigation by the New York Department of Financial Services through the scope of NYDFS's investigation is unclear, though the scope is unclear. BUSD is a Binance-branded stablecoin, etc. A Binance spokesperson told CoinDesk, BUSD is a stablecoin wholly owned and managed by Paxos. As a result, BUSD market cap will only decrease over time. Paxos will continue to service the product, manage redemptions, and will follow up additional information as required. Paxos also assured the funds are safe and fully controlled by reserves in their bank. Following the news of the SEC's intentions, Paxos said it would halt the minting of new BUSD tokens. Wow. That is a death sentence for a stablecoin, because the whole reason that you run a stablecoin, the whole way you run a stablecoin is by manipulating the supply so that you're able to keep the thing pegged at $1. If you are not able to manipulate the supply, then you're not able to continue to manipulate the price to stay at $1 in accordance with demand. If somebody wants to add $100 million into the stablecoin, then you essentially mint $100 million of the stablecoin so that you don't go and dilute the market capitalization through changing the price. Because remember, the basic supply and demand economics, if you have an increase in the demand of something, then the price is going to go up if the supply stays the same. But if the demand and the price go up, at the exact same time, then the price will stay the same. The whole principle around a stablecoin is to match the supply and the demand perfectly, that the price always stays at $1. So if the demand goes down and people are withdrawing from the stablecoin, then you take stablecoins out of circulation when they cash out. If you are adding more value into the stablecoin, then you add more stablecoins into the system so that you peg the cryptocurrency at the stablecoin at $1. If you mess up that supply ratio, then what you end up doing is you depeg the stablecoin, and it either becomes more valuable than $1, or, and this is more common, less valuable than $1. That's the tricky thing that you're looking at here. Paxos said that they are going to stop issuing new Binance USD, which basically means, as far as from what I can tell from this article anyway, and maybe this is something we need to look more into before we start acting on this, as far as I can tell, if they are actually stopping the minting of new BUSD, that's essentially a death sentence for Binance USD, because the issuance and the removal of supply of the stablecoin is the way that you manipulate the value of the stablecoin in the first place. So that is a little bit freaky for anybody using BUSD. A Binance spokesperson already read that. Given the ongoing regulatory uncertainty in certain markets, we will be reviewing other projects in those jurisdictions to ensure our users are insulated from further undue harm. Sunday's news comes right after the SEC settled charges with cryptocurrency exchange Kraken when the regulator alleged its staking services were offering of unregistered securities. Kraken did not admit or deny the charges under the terms of the settlement, but did shut down all of its U.S. staking programs. Good on them for not admitting they were running a staking service, a security, because they're not. One, that would have been a lie, and two, that would have been a huge blow to cryptocurrency, because that would have been a blatant admission of guilt, even though that guilt is not there. Someone could have quoted them on that. Binance acknowledged last month that it had not always maintained the proper balance to back Binance Peg BUSD, a wrapped version of BUSD offered on non-Ethereum networks that is backed by BUSD. After Bloomberg reported that there were issues with how PBUSD's backing was displayed, Binance said on occasion in the past there was a timing mismatch in backing Binance Peg BUSD with BUSD. The cryptocurrency exchange in a blog claimed in a blog post that while there were issues in the publicly viewable data, user redemptions were not affected. So, what does this mean for cryptocurrency? Well, as of right now, we don't quite know the full implications of what's going to of how this is going to impact Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency market. What we do know is that stablecoins are one of the major ways that this market continues to provide liquidity for the sake of rallies. If you remove the stablecoin market from cryptocurrency, then you effectively remove the cryptocurrency market's ability to have dry powder on the side, because typically people store that dry powder in the stablecoins. And if you are not aware, the stablecoins in cryptocurrency are worth well over $100 billion when you add them cumulatively. The market capitalization of Tether is $68.5 billion. USD coin, $41 billion. Binance coin, Binance USD, even on this news, $16 billion. Literally, the way you find all the stablecoins, go to the change in the last 1 hour or the last 7 days. Call it the change in the last 7 days. All of these cryptocurrencies that are right here in the middle that are not moving are the stablecoins. USDC, $40 billion. USDD, almost $1 billion. DAI, $5 billion. True USD, $1 billion. Pax Dollar, shy of $1 billion. Binance USD, 16 billion. Where's Tether? I don't even see Tether. There's Tether. $68.5 billion. We're looking at over $100 billion in market capitalization that the SEC could be coming for right now. That is nearly 10% of the entire cryptocurrency industry. That's nearly 10% of the entire cryptocurrency's market. If we just show you what some of the stablecoins here look like, turn off everything but the stablecoins. Here are the big three stablecoins. Here's your Tether, your USD, and your Binance USD. You add these three together, you are looking at over 10% of market capitalization, almost 12 or 13% of market capitalization, market dominance, I should say, and that's without even adding the other smaller ones. You're looking at between 12 and 15% of market dominance sitting in the stablecoins, and it looks like the SEC might be coming for every single one of them. Now, 8 months ago, no, not 8 months ago, about a year ago, then people could have said, "Oh, haha!" But we have a saving grace. We have the algorithmic stablecoin Luna. We have Terra USD or USDT. We have Terra. Sorry, not USDT. USD. What was it? USD. It was Luna. It was Luna. Terra Luna. USD Luna. It was Terra TUSD. Was it TUSD? I think it's TUSD. Anyway. whatever it was the Terra stablecoin. That stablecoin, a lot of people would have pointed to and said, aha, this has got $40 billion in it. This will be our saving grace. This just goes to show you that we need algorithmic decentralized stablecoins, and that these centralized stablecoin issuers are a huge problem for the cryptocurrency space. Luna failed, depegged catastrophically. I'm talking absolutely catastrophically. It was Terra USD. That's what it was. It was USTC, I think. No, this is the Terra Classic. Anyway, this is supposed to be a stablecoin that's trading at 3 cents. That kind of makes my point, doesn't it? The problem here is that when you go the centralized route, then it seems like the SEC is going to want to claim that stablecoins are securities. When you go the decentralized route, it doesn't necessarily seem like it's totally possible, and consumer confidence in the decentralized stablecoin projects is completely shattered, and for very good reason. So the problem that we run into now is, if the SEC is going to come for all stablecoins, then in what capacity do people store their cryptocurrency in cash outside of the market when they don't want to be in crypto? If they can't use a stablecoin, then they have to transact into US dollars, and that adds a lot of headache in the realm of taxation. That adds a lot of headache in the realm of reporting. It adds a lot of headache in the realm of regulation. And it also means that you have to be transacting more or less with a third-party centralized cryptocurrency exchange, because somebody's got to provide the dollars. You can transact on a DEX with stablecoins all day long. You can't really do that with real US dollars, because you can't put a real US dollar on the blockchain. It's not a blockchainized cryptocurrency. It's a actual national sovereign currency. So if the SEC is coming for all of these stablecoins, that's a big problem. And I don't mean to be too grim about it, because the fact of the matter is the cryptocurrency market will find a way. It always has. Just like nature, as he said in Jurassic Park. But the fact is, this is going to be very difficult for crypto. So what does this mean? This means a couple of things. Like I said, it's certainly seems as though Gary Gensler's Securities and Exchange Commission is launching a concerted effort to destroy cryptocurrency right now. That's why I said in the title and in the thumbnail, cryptocurrency is at war. Big time. Why? Gary Gensler seems to view the cryptocurrency market as, at best, if we're assuming the best in him, a threat to the average investor in the United States of America. At worst, if we are taking perhaps a more realistic view of things, Gary Gensler seems to view the cryptocurrency market as a direct threat to the United States dollar and to the United States economy and the stock market itself. What do I mean? Well, there's got to be a reason why Gary Gensler is coming after crypto the way he is and the timing he is. I would say that it comes down to the factors that I just said, and the fact that he got major egg on his face when FTX imploded and Gary Gensler didn't do anything. You have to think about these politicians as almost like they're kings. They're like monarchs. Their names will go down in the history books. People that study securities law, people that study law in the first place, they watch the historical track record of the different individuals that are in seats of power in places such as the Securities and Exchange Commission, the CFTC, the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, the Secretary of State, all these different areas, all these different high-ranking positions. They are historical figures, and they have a legacy, if you will. Gary Gensler, just like every single other politician that's ever lived, wants to secure himself a legacy. If his legacy is that a $30 billion cryptocurrency exchange in a 12-year-old market that has almost no regulation on it exploded right before his eyes, and 1 million people lost $20 billion collectively, and he was supposed to be overseeing that so that it didn't actually take place in the first place, that doesn't look too good on his rap sheet. What to a lot of people would look good, not to crypto, but what to a lot of people would look good if they don't understand the cryptocurrency market, what would look good to them would be him cracking down on cryptocurrency and cracking the whip against it and using the rest of cryptocurrency as the whipping boy for the sins of Sam Bankman-Fried. And that seems to be what's happening. I think that much of what's going on right now very well may have been orchestrated in the post-FTX meltdown as a way to not so much seek retribution against the cryptocurrency space, but to secure in Gary Gensler and the SEC's mind their legitimacy. It's their job to protect users from securities and exchanges citizens from securities and exchanges, ripping them off and stealing all their money. The SEC failed. They got an F-. It's worse than an F. They got an F- on the FTX matter, and they know it. Publicly, they know it. Historically, it's going to look that way. To the press, it looks that way. Why was FTX ever allowed to go through the cataclysmic downfall that it did? Those are the kind of questions that are being asked of the Securities and Exchange Commission. And so Gary Gensler, being the chairman of the SEC, has to answer those questions. He has to answer the questions of his lawmaker buddies, of his regulator buddies, of his donors, of the different people in Wall Street that he works with, the major corporations that he's responsible for overseeing. Why do you have so many rules and regulations on us and not on FTX? Last I checked, we didn't steal $30 billion. Why are you letting FTX get away with this? Why are you letting the cryptocurrency market get away with this? It's almost like a parent having one kid just be really, 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 really bad. And so everybody's like, why are you letting that kid get away with that? So instead of the parent punishing that one child, the parent goes and punishes another child. That's what's going on right now. FTX is already under bankruptcy proceedings. Sam Bankman-Fried is already facing, an extended stay in a penthouse. No, that was the first 2-3 weeks. An extended stay in a $4 million mansion in Palo Alto. Yes, there we go. That's where he is right now. But eventually, probably one day, many years in prison. So FTX is already being dealt with. This seems like retribution. Might not be. Maybe the SEC was planning on going after these things anyway because it genuinely sees them as securities. I think that this is, a power play, so the SEC can secure itself as the dominant regulator over the cryptocurrency market before the CFTC, before any other commission that Congress could put together. And two, this seems like, covering their rear end for failing with the downfall of FTX and, frankly, Luna. If they can go after an exchange like Kraken and the staking services they're on, hey, look, we're getting better at regulating exchanges. If they can go after a stable coin, then hey, look, we're getting better at regulating stable coins. You remember what happened with Terra Luna? Yeah, we're on that. We went after BUSD. We cracked down on them. Yeah, we're good. We know what we're doing. We deserve to be the regulating body over cryptocurrency, and the Congress people that don't know a first thing about crypto, other than some random guy in Montana donated to their super PAC with it, they look at Gary Gensler and they say, boom, he's on it. Great. They look at him and say, look, he cracked down on staking over on Kraken. Where were you with Genesis? Well, the average congressperson doesn't know anything about that. The average Wall Street investor doesn't know anything about that. What they know about is FTX because that's what was in the headlines. What they know about is Terra Luna because that's what was in the headlines. And Gary Gensler, over the course of the last 7 days, can now say, yes, we've done something about the cryptocurrency exchanges. Yes, we've done something about the stablecoin market. Pat himself on the back, get more prestige and rapport with Wall Street and Capitol Hill. Secure his place in the history books. Why are they going after stablecoins and exchanges now? It's political. That's what I think. Maybe there is a real case to be made there. It seems like over the next couple of days we will see the actual investigation come out with Binance USD, and maybe there is something really there. Maybe there is actually some foul play going on. We weren't told of any foul play that was going on at Kraken. They were just running a staking program. All they claimed is that it was an unregistered security. Well, prove in the first place that it was a security. Why wouldn't you say that it was a different industry? It was a completely different asset class than securities. And that instead of cracking down on Kraken, why don't you say, hey, Kraken, until Congress can spend the next 5 years putting together a new commission to oversee cryptocurrency, then we want you to follow these rules. We're going to take up temporary regulation over you because there's no other regulation right now over these staking products. And there frankly does need to be some. We've seen what happened with Gemini and Genesis. We're going to take up temporary regulation over you. You can continue running this until we have Congress decide whether or not there should be a new governing body. We will petition Congress to make a new governing body over cryptocurrency. And for now, we will establish guidelines. And yes, we will regulate you. And if you break these guidelines as the temporary regulating body, then we do reserve the right to take you to court and sue you. But for now, keep doing what you're doing. Make sure you have some relevant disclosures, at least to us, if not also to the public, so that people can know that what happened with Gemini and Genesis won't happen to you, Kraken. Why wasn't that the approach taken? Why did the hammer get brought down with seemingly absolutely no warning? What kind of business environment does that create in the United States when you're an exchange, you've been chugging right along for 8 years? I used Kraken when I first got into the cryptocurrency space over 5 years ago. This is not a new exchange. They've been chugging right along, making money, adding to the economy, doing good work, and then out of nowhere, their staking program, which is relatively old at this point, gone. How does that instill consumer confidence or investor confidence in growing the cryptocurrency space? As Brian Armstrong over at Coinbase said on Twitter, cryptocurrency growing up in the United States is a matter of national security, full stop, period. It is. It absolutely is. You cannot have this technology, blockchain, being developed in another sphere of the world. There's only one other that you can maybe argue that it could be, and that would be in China and its satellite nations that are very loyal to it. But nevertheless, you need to have blockchain and the majority of the blockchain development happening in at least the first world and best case scenario in the United States. When you make moves like this, you scare everybody from doing business in the U.S. and you stifle innovation, which is the greatest asset that the United States has ever contributed to humankind, is the rapid advance and technological development that this nation has brought. You know why we don't have a country code in front of our phone numbers? Because we created the phone number. You know why we have the latest technology in smartphones? Because we created the smartphone. You know why we have the best cameras? Because we were the ones that developed it. You know why we have some of the most popular music in the world? Because we're the place where everybody goes to record and produce music and movies. This is the cultural and technological epicenter of planet Earth. That is the defining feature of the United States, is our ability to create and develop technology. I'm not saying there aren't other nations that have done it, but most of the breakthroughs, especially in the last 130 years, have taken place in this country. It's one of the greatest things that this country has ever contributed to humankind. No country is perfect, and the United States is far from it. I'm not going to sit here and say that. But what I will say is that being on the technological and cultural cutting edge, even if that cutting edge for some technology and most culture is stupid, being on the cutting edge is one of the things that makes America the nation that it does. And Gary Gensler's actions of stifling technological innovation rather than fostering it and encouraging it, I think is un-American. Maybe that's a little bold of me. Who knows? Let's read chat. All right. We have a country code, silly. I know, but it's 1. The country code is 1 because we made it. We created it. All right. Let's read chat. All right. We give Gary too much credit. Crypto will simply move to a different country. Crypto can't be stopped. That's my point. It will end up just moving to a different country if it can't do it here, but that's not what you want. You don't want that to be the case. All right. I don't watch many crypto shows. It's not a staple in my life, so I'm not consumed by it, although I really enjoy Jebb's show. Well, thank you, Freedom Advocate. I really enjoy doing the show here. This is a lot of fun. One of my favorite parts of the day. All right. Let's see. Let's read some more chat. CBD Suddy in chat said he missed the shout-outs. What's up, CBD Suddy? How are you doing? And Shannon Sharp, hello. And Win Peoples. Some people tuned in after we jumped into the rest of it. Whenever someone says Gary on a YouTube live stream today, it makes my device buffer. I think he's watching me. Might be. Who knows? Let's see. DeFi will deal with SEC, that I know. My concern is the centralized exchanges that can be attacked and taken down. Yeah, this has kind of always been the, how might you say, the attack vector of cryptocurrency. The United States and other nations were always going to crack down on cryptocurrency and ad regulation, and that, Silent is in chat also, what is up? Welcome to the stream. That is not necessarily a bad thing. The cryptocurrency industry, especially centralized exchanges, do need to be regulated. They do need to have regulation. You can't be dealing with $1 billion of people's funds and have no form of disclosures, no form of accountability. Accountability is a very important and biblical principle, by the way. Accountability is important, and our governments have been put in place to hold some of that accountability for these major companies. Regulation is not a 4-letter word in my lexicon. I do believe that it is, in general, a beneficial thing if done right. What regulation looks like is giving guidelines and encouragement. Really, a way that you can explain this is think about in this very narrow example of the government as a parent. Now, don't think about the government as a parent in all contexts, because the government thinks of itself as a parent, and that's a huge problem. In this context, think about it as like having the authority of a parent over these companies. How should a parent discipline and teach a child? A parent ought to, yes, set firm boundaries and say, no, you will not do that. No, you will not do that. Yes, you should do that. I encourage you to do that. And say, look, if you go off and do this, there are certain punishments because we drew the line. The line was firm. The line was clear. And if you go off and do that, then great. Here's the problem. If you're a parent and you discipline your child when you have not actually told them that what they are doing is wrong, or if it's not blatantly obvious that it's wrong, then you are the bad guy, not the kid. That's what the SEC just did to Kraken. They just cracked down on Kraken and said, boom, 20% of your business model, whatever it is. Shut it down. You got 72 hours. Shut it down right now. Excuse me? Was Kraken ever under any kind of regulatory auspices that would tell it that what he was doing was an unregistered security? No. Staking has been around for years and the SEC has never said anything. Cryptocurrency has been around for years and the SEC has never come out and done a lot of what it's doing right now. You're going to come in with a discipline before you laid out the rules? What happened to saying, hey, look, here's the rules. I know they changed, but at least we can claim to be just now because we laid out the rules and you have 90 days to comply with them. That I would get. I would kind of understand that. But taking Kraken to court and getting them to settle with $30 million, that's $30 million that, by the way, first of all, came out of the pockets of cryptocurrency users because those are fees that were generated by revenue that Kraken generated by running their exchange and their staking protocol. So that money should not be going to the SEC. That money ought to be going back to the investors if it's going to go to anybody. And second of all, you are being completely and totally unjust by punishing somebody in accordance to a law or a regulation that does not exist. It is un-American the way that Gary Gensler cracked down on Kraken because they're running an unregistered security. Has Gary Gensler never heard of de jure and de facto law? The fact of the matter is, everybody in cryptocurrency has been operating under the assumption, because the SEC was never clear about this, that staking protocols on exchanges are allowed. Because they never said you couldn't. That really is how the law works. Well, you never said I couldn't, so I did it. That's the way the law works. Might not like it, but that's the way that human law works. That's the way it should work anyway, because no human other than Christ is God. And last I checked, he's not on the throne of power here in the United States. Biden and the rest of everybody else is. Nobody's perfect. That's not a political statement, by the way. I'm saying no human other than Christ is perfect. The government does not have the authority to just say, hey, we don't like this. Boom. There has to be a guideline, a law, a rule, a regulation set, and then you have to make sure you're just in enforcing it. The way that was enforced was completely and totally unjust. That fine was totally uncalled for when people said, yeah, it was. If they're going to fine them, here's what you do. You say, we're going to fine you $30 million because that's the revenue that you generated through your staking protocol. Give it back to the people that you earned it from. I didn't not took it from, earned it from, because Kraken did earn that money. Give it back to the people that you took it, that you earned it from, instead of giving it to the Securities and Exchange Commission for them to go do God knows what with. Give it back to those people that were staking on Kraken. Why not? Incentivize growth in the industry. Gary Gensler doesn't care about incentivizing growth. He cares about making himself go down in history as the guy that, yeah, he screwed up FTX, but he made it right. It's almost like John F. Kennedy. Everybody gives John F. Kennedy a ton of credit for the Cuban Missile Crisis and how that all diffused itself. Fair enough. I've studied the history. Kennedy did a decent job. The Cuban Missile Crisis happened because of the Bay of Pigs when the CIA tried to kill Castro under who? John F. Kennedy. So history has a tendency of remembering people that were favorable in the mainstream media's light, as Kennedy was, through their victories and their successes, their victories and successes, such as cracking down on Kraken and cracking down on BUSD, and glossing over the fact that the problem was one that they caused in the first place. The problem in cryptocurrency is that one of the problems in cryptocurrency is that there's not clear regulation. This just made that problem in cryptocurrency 100 times more potent. Because one of the problems is that there was not clear regulation and everybody was scared that the government was going to crack down on it out of the blue. What happened? SEC cracks down on Binance USD and Kraken completely out of left field with no warning, at least visible to the public. Maybe these companies had 6 months warning behind the scenes and we just have not been told that. That does not seem to be the case. It seems like this crackdown came completely out of left field and we did not see it coming. The cryptocurrency market could not have prepared for it, and it doesn't seem like these cryptocurrencies could have. The cryptocurrency market and us could have prepared for it either. All right. I think the money printer will be turned back on this year. I would not be surprised at all about that. All right, I've been ranting for 40 minutes. That is probably a record for me. Maybe not. Probably not, actually. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the charts, because as you guys can see, boom, we have a new chart interface here. I'm hoping that this is all going to work well. So you can see Bitcoin right now is trending to the downside. It and the total market capitalization and Ethereum are not doing great. Unfortunately, total market capitalization is now sitting down here below $1 trillion. It's actually pretty convincingly broke beneath that, and that is very unfortunate, because what we were hoping for was for Ethereum, was for total market capitalization to be able to hold above at least $960 billion, because that was a previous level of resistance set about a month ago. Now it's fallen below that, and at the same time, Ethereum is diving pretty substantially, broke below its 2 uptrending levels of support. We were hoping it would hold at 1,500. It's now broken below that as well. So the SEC has done a fine job of ruining the bullish setup that Bitcoin had. That's not exactly the end of the world, though, because Bitcoin and crypto, as much as we were hoping that it would just, boom, break out and go to the next movement, to the next level, moving to the upside, as much as we wanted to see that happen, crypto probably did need a correction. I mean, let's be honest. Bitcoin just went vertical for a couple of weeks, moved $7,000 to the upside in 21 days in the middle of a bear market. Like, it kind of makes sense. So even if we do go through a correction, I'm not the most worried about it. I'd just like to see Bitcoin stay above $20,000. If Bitcoin can stay above $20,000 and ETH can stay above, let's call it 1,280, 1,250. Let's call it 1,250. If ETH can stay above 1,250 and Bitcoin can stay above 20K, Bob's your uncle. You'll be okay. The problem right now is that we were hoping that the CPI data coming out tomorrow was going to be something that would lead to a major movement to the upside. Sorry, I just did this wrong. CPI.gov/BLS. We were hoping that we were going to see a huge movement to the upside tomorrow from the Bureau of Labor Statistics data coming in, and us having a decline in the CPI data over the last 12 months. The issue is, a week ago, we were set up beautifully. We were set up so gorgeously for Bitcoin to go through that kind of major rally. Now, however, the problem is that's not exactly where we stand. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are in the middle of a downtrend at the moment. It's a shorter-term downtrend. It's not as big of a downtrend as the uptrend we've witnessed over the last month, but it is nevertheless a downtrend. And so when you see an event such as the Bureau of Labor Statistics CPI data coming out at 0.3, 0.4, 0.5% of a drop, you would hope that that would be a catalytic event that would lead the market to the upside. The issue is that that is a catalytic event. Typically, what you see happen when you see a movement in the market such as that is you see that event catalyze a movement that is already taking place. So this is a bullish event that's going to come out. We don't know quite how bullish, but we're pretty convinced it's going to be bullish to some degree. So we expect that to catalyze a movement that's already trending to the upside. If you're instead trending to the downside, then there's nothing to catalyze. It's like throwing a match on a bunch of wet lumber. You're not going to get it to light. But if you pour gasoline on a small fire, then knock my hat over. It's going to be a huge, huge, huge deal. That gasoline acts as the catalyst. It's actually a fuel, but for the sake of even though from the standpoint of physics, it's not a technically correct term. Let's just act like it is. From that basically catalyzes the reaction, allows it to get bigger. In cryptocurrency, it's the same thing. If there's no fire, and if the SEC has already dumped a bunch of fire foam on it, you can light a match all you want, but if it's covered in flame retardant foam, then the market's not going to burn hot and move to the upside. Instead, it's probably going to have absolutely no impact whatsoever on crypto. And I think that's kind of the only thing holding up Bitcoin right now. I think, to be honest with you, if crypto was not looking for bullish data to come out from the BLS, then we would probably have seen Bitcoin already die below its current support at $21,500. Once we see that news drop tomorrow and then people realize, wait a minute, that news is not just going to cause Bitcoin to move to the upside. So I'm remembering where all my keys are. It's Command Z, not Control Z. If we don't end up using that data to move the market heavily to the upside, then people are going to lose hope, because right now people are holding out hope for the idea that the CPI data is going to come out. It's going to cause Bitcoin to go into a big rally. And a week ago, that was highly likely. At this point now, though, that is more so highly unlikely to occur. So that's where we stand right now. And that's the problem, is that Gary Gensler's crackdowns came at exactly the wrong time and probably achieved exactly the desired result. And that was to pour fire on this market until they can pour water on this market until they can get some kind of control back over the popular narrative that FTX and the criminals aren't in control, but Gary Gensler and the rest of the U.S. government regulators are. It's sad. It is very, very sad. Okay, let's read some chat. Hussein just donated $5. Thank you so much. Only thing Gary Gensler is good for is explaining to us the difference between stake and stake. Clown. Yeah, that's about accurate as far as, I mean, he's good for something. He's a human being and he's a soul, and I don't want to just attack the guy personally. I'll tear his policy apart to shreds because I think it's nonsense. But I do feel bad for the guy, because ultimately when somebody's making a mistake the way that he is, or in sin the way that he might be, it always blows back on the individual. And that's the sad thing. That is the sad thing. SEC needed more money. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe the aliens are searching for Gary. Yes, maybe we can bring him back to his spaceship and he can head back to planet Omicron so that he can go and regulate the securities over there. As a user of Kraken, I wholeheartedly agree with you. That fine was totally uncalled for. Already read that. Yeah, thank you. I agree, Win People. I think it was. Why isn't Jebb in the government? You know, that's the conundrum, isn't it? The idea about government is that you have to be smart enough to get everybody to believe that you're a genius, but dumb enough to put yourself through the ringer of being in public office. And you have to be just barely moral enough that somebody is willing to trust you, but also typically you have to be greasy enough to be able to work your way through the system. So you have a bunch of kind of mediocres in there, of middling intelligence and of middling morality, and you have just kind of this government that's not terrible but not great. So it's really interesting the way that the government was set up. It was set up that way kind of on purpose, not so much the moral aspect of it, but it was almost set up in a way where no one individual was able to be so ambitious that they could end up just turning the government into a dictatorship. Thank God George Washington declined the kingship. If you guys don't know, George Washington was offered the chance to be the king of the United States of America. And he said no. He said no. Thank God for that. Thank God for Mr. Washington saying no to that. What a guy. Offered to be king of the 13 colonies. And he said, nope. That would set the wrong precedence. One man can change human history, and Gary may be learning that himself. Let's see. Silas E. Borg had a comment that apparently didn't make it through the chat filter. Yep, that probably is a good thing then. All right. Gary never said he disliked or even wanted to shut down the crypto market. He simply said he wants exchanges to follow the securities laws. All these exchanges are aware of these laws, or they wouldn't try to skirt the laws. The thing is, though, and here's the problem, is that those laws have not been enforced. It is extremely common in human history for there to be a law. Here's a good example. Speeding. If you're speeding, you are, yes, theoretically, not theoretically, just literally, you are in violation of the law. If it's a 50 and you're going 51, yes, you are breaking the law, and yes, you have earned the right for a fine. But what happens in a lot of places is that you have one county that doesn't enforce the speed limit at all until you get to being 15, 20 over, and then you're in reckless driving territory. And then the next county over, you're going 3 over, you're getting pulled over because they want to make some fine money. They do a fine job. And so you get this confusion where two different counties are enforcing things two different ways. Or you have a change where one county goes from saying, officers, we're not telling you not to give somebody a ticket if they're going anything less than 15 over, but if you don't give them a ticket if they're going less than 15 over, we won't be bothered. We won't mind. Like, you've got bigger fish to fry, deputies. And then you get a new sheriff in town, literally a new sheriff in town. And then the new sheriff says, if anybody's going 5 over, pull them over. I understand you might have to make 100 traffic stops, but we got to get this under control. And then in one day, it completely changes, and everybody's expecting to have a lot of grace and a lot of lackadaisicality from the sheriffs on the road. And then the next day, everybody's getting speeding tickets. That's whiplash, and that's what Gary Gensler is doing to the exchanges. None of these exchanges, as far as I'm aware, have ever been cracked down on for having staking programs. Not one of them. Not even Gemini and Genesis following the Genesis bankruptcy and the probably inevitable collapse of the DCG empire. That has never occurred, as far as I'm aware, on scale, like what we saw on Kraken, maybe on small scale. And then out of the blue, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges and one of the largest stablecoins get slammed in the same week. I understand that may be I understand that may fall in the territory where the securities law is applying, and maybe they shouldn't be staking. But how about saying, we're going to give you a warning this time. Get it right. You got 90 days. That should be enough. After that, we're taking you to court. Why not? Why not do that? Why instead just slam them out of the blue, completely changing your enforcement strategy when, by the way, it's not even a new sheriff in town. It's the same sheriff in town. His name is Gary Gensler, except he's got egg on his face because he let FTX happen. Whether or not it was his fault, because it's not his fault. Ultimately, Sam Bankman-Fried is at fault and the rest of his goonies. But everybody kind of blames Gary Gensler. It really looks suspicious, doesn't it? Like he's trying to cover his own tail. That's what it looks like. All right. I consider speed limits a suggestion, not a rule. Well, I mean, that's kind of the way that the cryptocurrency. No, actually, I won't even say, because that's not even true. The cryptocurrency market has looked at a lot of securities and exchange laws and say that doesn't seem to apply to us. It's never been enforced. De facto, must not apply to us. We must be waiting on some other kind of a regulation. Okay, well, just boom, it does apply to you. Okay, golly, all right, let's get our act together. Great, guys. I would have preferred a warning. That would have been less whiplash. That would have done less damage to one of the most important technological advancements in markets in the last 30 years in the United States. But oh well. Who needs to have grace and I don't know, emotional intelligence while enforcing the law? Who needs that? All right. I'm excited to see the end of Gary Gensler. How will it play out? He'll probably run his term, and then he'll, get appointed again and again and again and again. He'll be there until he's 137, and then we'll get somebody else. If you're a super good liar, you get elected. Santos. Yeah, there you go. I think I can comment on that politically because that's pretty bipartisan at this point. Everybody pretty much knows that dude's a fraud. All right. You reap what you sow. That's right. I think Gary in control scares me more than bad actors. Yeah, probably, to be honest with you. I guess these actions are appropriate following what happened with FTX. See, yeah, no, there does need to be regulation. Like I said, there does need to be regulation on the exchanges. And what happened with FTX must never be allowed to happen again. And the government does have a place of stepping in and saying, there are now going to be some new guidelines that you are going to follow. Period. I get it. I totally get that. My problem is stepping in and slapping the industry upside the face with that. Okay. In the Fed. Yeah, you end the Fed. The problem with ending the Fed is that you don't, if you end the Fed, you don't have anybody to control the U.S. dollar, and one of the strengths of the United States is the United States' ability to somewhat control the U.S. dollar. I'm not saying I agree with that model, but that is the case, so you'll probably end up never seeing that happen. Switching to Mac may be the worst decision you've made in a while. Yeah, that was always going to be a controversial move. That was always going to be a controversial move. That's funny. All right. All right. Well, I have a very exciting announcement, and we're going to be kind of giving you the full details of this here in a week. on Monday. You'll be hearing more about this the coming Monday. So this is a week from today. But I'm very excited to announce. Before I announce it, what do you guys think I'm about to announce? Tell me in chat. What do you think I'm about to announce? I would love to hear your guesses as to what I'm about to let you in on. But I'm very excited about it. Been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and you guys are going to get to see some of it here in a week because we finally have nailed down when we're going to go ahead and do this. But tell me in chat, what do you think I'm about to announce? I think everybody's going to be able to guess. It's pretty obvious. Classic IT guy says Club DeFi. Daz Meekin says Club DeFi. Let's see. What is everybody saying? William said baby. Oh, everybody's saying baby. Okay. All right. Let's run a poll. What am I about to announce? Sarah's laughing at chat over there. All right. Oh, man. Okay. People are coming up with a lot of interesting ideas. Someone said due date. I've already announced that. That's April 20th. Couch giveaway. Okay. You're going to expand and add more content. That I've already announced on the YouTube channel. I do have plans to expand and add a lot more content here on the YouTube channel. I just have to get time to do that. Obviously, with the baby coming, there's a lot of work going on in that regard. Lazy said pregnant. A little late to the party on that. We're 7 months pregnant. So yeah, I mean, I suppose that was announced a while ago, but yeah, there you go. Due date. All right. Okay, interesting. This poll is really, really interesting. What am I about to announce? Club DeFi, baby info, or other? I thought you guys would Discord. Yep, there's some stuff going on with Discord involving in this. That's true. Let's see. Okay. CT2A is back. All right, interesting. Interesting. Already got dibs on the couch, Freedom Advocate Sam. All right, who's ready? Baby info. Fixing the intro. Yeah, I'm getting to that. That's something I need to get done also. All right. It's Club DeFi, guys. I've got a very special announcement, and that is that we've been working for quite some time to get Club DeFi into a state where we would be able to sustain it as a small team, but also where we would be able to provide you guys with quality content. So here's the deal. Club DeFi is coming back in a limited capacity, and we're going to spend the next probably about a year. Well, actually, pretty much forever, but especially the next year getting it where we really want it. And then it's going to be a fine-tuned engine. It's going to run. But we're really excited to have it come out. Here's what's going to happen. Club DeFi is going to come out as a series of courses, and these are going to be one-time payment courses in the vein of what CT2A was before. We scrapped the subscription model for right now. We're a smaller team, and quite frankly, with all the experimentation we did with the subscription model, I didn't really like the subscription model as much as we thought we would. I don't think you guys really like the subscription model as much as as we hope that you guys would. If you guys know, Club DeFi, depending on when you got into it, was around $15 to $30. We threw it out the window. Club DeFi is going to come back as a series of courses, and they're going to be valued at a certain amount. We'll be announcing the price point when the actual course comes out. But for right now, we're launching one of them. We've got a lot of work to do on the courses because I want to reshoot some videos. Those reshoots will be taking a lot of time, and so that's where a lot of my time will be going over the next several months is reshooting some of that content, really getting it exactly where I want it. There's a few videos in there that I want to change up a little bit. But the first course of Club DeFi, which if you guys were in Club DeFi before, hang tight. I've got more information for you. That will be coming out. Again, it will be a one-time payment for life. Instead of like CT2A where we had one course we were constantly adding to, we're going to have a plethora of different courses that we will add to. Not forever. We're not going to add to every one of them forever, but right now all the courses that are launching still have a lot of work that we want to do on them, but they are pretty much ready to launch. The first course that we're going to be launching in Club DeFi is the subject of technical analysis. It has 62 videos. I want to reshoot about 15 or so of the videos, so I will be working on that over the next month or two, more than likely. I can't give you an exact end date for that, but when it launches, just know there's about 15 to 18 videos in there that I want to reshoot. Pretty much same content, just want to refresh it. About to do some work on the set here, and then that will probably help it as well. Club DeFi is launching a week from today. That is Monday, February the 20th. So mark your calendar, stay tuned, because it will be launching. And I have another announcement. It will also be launching with the new CryptoJebb.com website. Oh, man, I'm excited for this. It's been done for about a month. We've been working on it. Malachi, one of our employees, worked on it really hard, like spent an entire month putting this website together. It is awesome. So cool. And as Club DeFi launches, you're also going to be getting access to the cryptojebb.com website where you can go and play with it and look around. I'm so excited. Guys, you know, I've been saying, like, guys, I want to do more content on YouTube, but I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes. This is what we've been working on. We've been working on getting Club DeFi ready. We've been working on, obviously, getting ready for the baby. I've talked about that pretty clearly. But Club DeFi is coming. It is coming back. And it will be that one-time price point model because we ran CT2A. We sold over 5,000 copies of CT2A. We ran Club DeFi. Most of the people that ran Club DeFi were kind of annoyed by the subscriptionary price point, the subscriptionary model. So we're going back to basis. We might have a smaller subscriptionary model for something in the future, but for right now, if you're in Club DeFi, it's going to be a one-time payment. And also, I can't announce exactly because I think we're still hammering out the details on exactly what we're going to do for this. But if you were in Club DeFi before and you were in the subscription model and you already had access to the course content, hang tight because we're going to have something a little bit special for you. For everybody else who was in CT2A and now you want to get into Club DeFi, basically it's going to be a similar experience, although there's a lot of new content. This is updated. It looks better. It's smoother. I think it's better presented. It's got better education, better quality, more videos, more content than CT2A ever did. This is the next generation of what we're doing here on the Crypto Jebb YouTube channel from the educational standpoint, and I am so very excited to bring it back to you. As I said, there are 3 courses. One of them is launching right now. We're probably going to be launching the other 2 over the next probably about every 2 months or so. We're not going to be able to keep up that pace of launching a course every 2 months, but getting those first 3, subject of trading and subject of on-chain analysis, we're going to get those 3 up. And then I have dreams and visions of making more courses on geopolitics, on the macro environment, on investing, and on financial management. There's a lot of other courses I want to bring to Club DeFi. I have a vision of having like 10 different courses in there where you guys can go and learn absolutely everything. And maybe after we have 500 videos or something, we'll bring back some kind of subscription model 3-5 years from now. That's way off in the future. For right now, what you guys are most interested in learning is everything that you need to know about technical analysis, and coming 1 week from today, you will have access to that again. And I am so excited. Man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Okay. Any questions you guys have, please do me a favor. Put them in the comment section down below. You can put them in chat, that's fine, but put them in the comment section down below. I'm not going to have time to answer all of the questions. I know there's going to be a lot of questions. Put them in the comment section down below, and we'll make sure that we, by launch day, a week from today, we have some kind of answer for that. All right. All right. Let's see what chat is saying. Fixing the intro, yeah, I do need to fix that. That is something I have on my docket. There's a lot to get done. Jojo said, I picked Club DeFi. Looking forward to that, Jebb. Thank you, Jojo. I'm looking forward to it, too. I'm really excited about a lot of the content in there. And like I said, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. You're not joining a beta. We're not calling it a beta. The fact is you're joining it, and there's going to be some work done on that course specifically over the next probably month or 2. Now, baby coming might change that up. So just so you know, our daughter could come 2 weeks early. Could come on time. There's a ton of work we have to do to get ready for our newborn. We're a much smaller team, so I'm doing a lot of the work myself. I'm doing a lot of the editing, and obviously I'm doing the reshooting and whatnot. I can't give you an exact deadline on when I'm going to have all the updates to the current Club DeFi course that's going to be launching done, but I am going to be working hard on it, and that is one of the big changes I'm going to be making to my schedule is that on top of the stream, I'm also going to be working on updating Club DeFi, which is a monumental Herculean effort. I'm going to probably need to put 500 hours into getting Club DeFi where I want it. And then I also want to put more work into getting more content types here on the YouTube channel. So bear with me. It's going to take time, but we've got a really exciting plan in the future. All right, guys. Oh, man. I've been waiting to announce that for like 3 months. All right. Cool beans. I'm so excited. Build some hype. Tell your friends. Let them know that the best, highest quality educational product in all of cryptocurrency is coming a week from today, and I am very excited for it. Man, thank you guys so much for tuning in, hitting that like button. We've almost got 200 likes. Let's see if we can't get to over 200 likes before we wrap it out. Gary Gensler's declaring war on crypto, but crypto will endure. It will always, always, always thrive, and we're very excited for where it's going to head next. I am going to have to go, but before I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.